I want to tell you a story about my experience in a rural community in Ghana. I traveled to 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, a community in the Adan East District, Ghana, together with one of my colleagues, 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪�ึ to conduct a focus group discussion. We went to the community during the midday, and the lead farmer was organizing the other farmers for us. So we sat under a tree. And while we were conversing, one of the farmers who was already with us said he feels there's rainfall in the wind. And those who were already present argued with him that there was no moisture in the wind. Besides, the wind was blowing from the northern part of the village, so there was no rainfall. They argued at length and they all came to a conclusion that there was no rainfall. So I started my focus group discussion, and we sat in a circular way. We started discussing. At a point, someone made a remark that, look, guys, there is moisture now in this wind. And they all discussed again. I stopped my questions and then they discussed and they said, yes, they can feel there's moisture in the wind that is blowing, and then the wind continued to blow intensively. So at a point, we had to stand up and then do this sort of arrangement which you are seeing in the picture. And they told me to hurry up because they sensed that there was rainfall. Now, within time, they asked me to wrap up. I did. And they got a motorcycle for me and asked me to go home with my colleague Philip, who was with me that day. And they said, if I don't reach home in 30 minutes, I might be beaten by the rain. I was in doubt because my plan was to go to another community to conduct a focus group discussion, even conduct 2 more interviews for the day. But community entry approach, you are taught to respect the views of the community, so they asked me to go home and I did. But before mounting a motorcycle, I took this picture in the atmosphere. Now, at the time I took this picture, it was just a small portion of the village that had this cloud, and the sun was still shining. So I didn't see the sense of urgency in their voice, but I left the village anyway. When we got to 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, this was the picture you can see. The clouds had formed and spread out from the village and to where I traveled to. So it was obvious there was going to be rainfall. Now, I went to my room. After taking this picture, I went to my room and I received a call from one of the farmers, and he asked, "Are you home?" I said, "Yes." He said, did you realize it's raining? I said, "Yes." He said, "So do you believe us now?" I was in doubt. I asked myself, what are these farmers doing? Was this superstitious? Was it local knowledge? What is the science in their behavior? And they told me the next day it's going to rain again, and they gave me the time. I never believed in these sort of things because my research was not purposely focusing on the local knowledge. But I reflected on their activities, and with my climatological background, I understand that wind systems move with pressure belts. So at the time where we were seated, there was high insolation, or the sunshine was high, and the wind blowing continuously. Could be that a moisturous wind was filling the airspace at that time, and with the sunshine, evaporation was taking place. So with this formation of cloud, I could speculate that at that point that there was a type of cumulonimbus cloud that was forming, because they told me there was a strong wind coming and a thunderstorm. And so when I came to that point to say, okay, it isn't superstitious, their local knowledge isn't superstitious, but there was a relationship between a scientific process that was taking place, but just that they did not have the instruments to measure. So what? Yes, local knowledge are very important. I know that someone is saying, oh, in this era where we have artificial intelligence, look at you are talking about local knowledge. local knowledge is very important, specifically in communities or regions where we still do not have those advanced technologies and equipment. These local knowledge of farmers can be used for various purposes in modeling processes. Now, I just want to give us a brief highlight of local knowledge, and then in our subsequent video, I shall provide you examples of local knowledge that farmers use for forecasting, and then I will engage you in a citizen science research. So what we'll do is each day I present a local knowledge and give the meaning, and then we try to observe and corroborate it with a scientific forecast, maybe for example Ghana Meteorological Agency or even the AccuWeather, which is on your smartphone. Now, briefly, what is the implication of this new series which I shall be starting? We realize that models are characterized with uncertainties, and also models cover large scales rather than localized regions. So local knowledge are relevant in supporting the outcomes or findings from large-scale modeling. Also, it helps in capturing the voices of local people. Imagine that you are modeling about a community and you do not hear about their perspectives. And also, we are talking about some regions do not have accurate data due to the absence of technology. Like, for example, some communities in some rural areas in the global south do not have these advanced technologies compared to a farming community in the global north, where the farmer is privileged to certain technologies to even tell temperature and other conditions. So it's local knowledge is still relevant, and it's also part of our cultural heritage. It tells about the continuity of cultural practices, which is relevant even in our current development discourse. So in this new month and next month, April, as I mentioned, every week I will show forth a new local indicator. And what you do is you also observe in your environment whether you see it. For me, I have had the experience of staying with farmers for 2 to 3 years and have observed their local knowledge. I want to engage you in the process. I shall also invite some experts to talk about some of these issues, how we integrated local and scientific forecasts in the research which we did, and some experts should give us the results on the scale of pharmacist forecast. You might be thinking, is there skill in pharmacist forecast? Yes. And we'll also be talking about other issues regarding the diminishing of local knowledge and indicators in farming communities, and lots more. So each week in this month, March and April, I shall bring you a new perspective of local knowledge. We talk and its related issues. And then in May, we'll come back with a different topic about the food system. I look forward to your participation, your suggestions and feedback. Have a wonderful time. Bye-bye.